for us. Sword is sleep. We don't want that nonsense. If you're ever looking for a easy 100% switch, so like let's say you're hurting for health, right? You got 1 hit point. You go right here and press up. You go into the switch room, and whenever you touch the switch, it grants you full health. That's a fun fact. That's even in regular Kirby. If you're ever in trouble playing Kirby's Adventure and you're by a switch room, just know that if you hit the switch, you go to full health. Yeah, crash is gonna hurt. Ooh, what's Parasol give us? Kirby will turn around. Backdrop? No way. All right. Oh yeah, Blooded Candy, EBC. I had to very quickly put the layout together, so. All right. Oh, birds. Definitely time I'm a bit rusty at Kirby's Adventure. I don't remember where half the enemies spawn anymore. Yeah, play with a light. Yeah, it does. That's right. If you flip a light switch up and down, you definitely feel a bit better too. You brighten up your day, depending on which way the light switch goes. All right, we're going to stage 2 here. This is interesting. Start to stage 2, that's for sure. Right. Let's see, I know Needle's coming. Oh, Needleless hammer. Oh, let's go. Surprised we haven't found Star Rod yet. But we got Hammer. He, hands down, one of the best weapons in the game. Oh, well, we got Wheelie. Maybe not against Wheelie. Nope, alright. Alright, Wheel gives us nothing. Wow, the wheel gives us nothing. That's rough. Oh. No, I need that. Alright. That's right, the poppies give us nothing too. Oh, this is real rough. Alright. Sword gives us sleep. I don't want to sleep right now. What does Spark give us again? Spark gave us sword. Okay, I can live with that. I can hang with sword. Parasol gave us, I forgot what. Man, this is so weird doing this without wheel. Alright. Typically you just wheel through that. How many other series are there like that where Kirby doesn't have well, one could argue Star Allies. I mean, realistically, Star Allies had what? Like what, 3 copy abilities? The only difference was that one could be electric and one could be fire, ice, whatever. But really, okay. But really, like, Star Allies only had a couple of abilities. Oh, there's Crash. I wonder if Crash is my Star Rod. How quick can we get up there? Oh, okay, Crash is high jump. See you later, high jump. So in here, if you can mix to try and get Hammer, this is where your switch is at in 100%. Not trying to get it. We have Fireball. I can live with Fireball. It's not where I wanted to go. Turbo. The heads are the worst. Alright. Typically you'd high jump up there, but we don't have high jump. Gonna burn through him. So typically this is where you'd want Tornado. No, I want Tornado to come back. Alright, well. I suppose fireball through here. That's needle. Oh, this is scary. Yep. I'm that one wrong, but we can get a chance to get tornado now. Get out of here. Tornado is tornado. Oh, perfect. Oh, so much for that randomness. Do we remember what UFO was? I don't remember what UFO was. All right, well, this stage has got easier. All right, that stage has got a heck of a lot easier with tornado. The game series where the protagonist's signature ability didn't appear in the first game. That's a good question. I'm not sure. We already know what laser is. Oh, this is a world. Oh, God. Oh, not crash, please. Oh, I'm not used to doing the stage with tornado. I'm trying to think of one. Oh. That frog is a menace. Wow, tornado makes that section so much faster. Holy smokes. So in here, oh, okay. Well, I guess we're going back down. Go. So this is like a race. Yeah, we're not quick enough anymore. To get to that door, that's where the switch is at for 100%. Get out of here. Oh, rock. We haven't done stone yet. So we haven't done stone yet, Kirby? Stone is stone. All right. That's boring. All right, stone is stone. I already know what Sir Kibble is. Oh, okay. Light is wheel. That kind of sucks. The fact that light is wheel kind of sucks. Because that means if we need to use wheel later, which we shouldn't need to use anything. But if we want wheel later on, we're gonna have to mix for it. Speaking of power-ups in video games, let's take a note of like Super Mario Land 1 with its with its bouncy flower power thing. Just have to remember how to swim boost like that. Saving grace there. Oh, we're gonna hit. Nope. Okay. Yeah, take that. This is where you want fireball. Oh, this ain't great. Which 100% one is this one? Okay. This is wild. This is actually difficult. There we go. Oh. Oh, okay. I knew that was gonna matter time. Whatever. Dang fish. Worse than the Mario Brother game. God dang cheaps over here, just cheaping it up. Oh, swordman. Piece him out. Yeah, it's a shame they never made a sequel to that. Real shame they never made a sequel to that. We did unlock this. Oh, I don't want to go to the arena. Can you just kill me? I don't want to do the arena. I thought this was the museum where I can pick up a power. Thank you. Is this the museum? Yeah. I don't know what boss we're fighting, but we're gonna go with laser. Oh, I should have got parasol. That's fine. Oh, this laser's doing nothing to this thing. Oh. That pause Mike. Mike is Mike. All right. Super Mario Land 2. Imagine having Super Mario Land 2. Imagine playing Super Mario Land 2. So yeah, so this stage here is where you typically try a mix for hammer. Why is wheel white? Oh, that sucks so much. Because you try to mix for hammer. I don't want light. Too slow. Because you'd get wheel, then this part here. And you'd wheel across. And then after you're done with the stage, you would come back here to get hammer. Because you'd use it against the boss. What do we got going on here? Parasol. Crash. I'm honestly surprised we haven't found Star Rod yet. Dude. We got stone, at least can protect us a little bit. Tick-tock. I need you to move. Yep. Oh, just Dwayne Johnson, Tim. You see that? Well, I didn't want that, but... Oh, no! Well, at least the laser guy's not here to shoot me. So, we go down here. Excuse me. Oh. This takes us to the switch for 100% category. Fireball. All right. Back up we go. I'm really surprised we haven't found Star Rod. We haven't found Star Rod or UFO yet. Which kind of blows my mind a little bit. Get that frog. Okay, well, lost our fireball. This one here, you can cheat and shoot through the wall, the floor there. If you're ever having trouble with that sword guy right there. Oh, if you're having trouble with that sword guy, you can just spray water through the floor and get him. Oh, we got music note. I'll learn you. I'm gonna wake up, chat. Note me. Oh, ball. Most worthless power up in the world. All right. Oh, we got a triple star coming in hot here. So if you want to know where the other switch is at, in there. What you're supposed to do is use light to see that door, but you can just know where things are at. Thank you for hitting me. So here's what light does. Cha-ching, now you can see in here. Wheel. No more wheel. Mr. Kibble has nothing. Alright. Dwayne. I'm not even gonna go for that because I'd kill myself going for that. High jump, parasol. I'm expecting like Star Rod to be World 7 at this point. The fact that we haven't found it yet is kind of wild. I could try and mix for it, but right. Meta Knight stuff. Get up there, Kirby. Usually when it comes behind me right there. Just get up there real quick. Yeah. Oh, alright. Easy peasy. A lot of nonsense going on here. This is where high jump is superior in every way. I need that tomato. Alright. Getting some one-ups at least. My rusty Kirby's Adventure going through in here. Rum-pum-pum. Oh, we're in the Dreamland stage. Huh. So far, no powers. Just like normal Dreamland. Oh, I got my way, bird. Apple out of here, too. Nothing. Alright. Super, just like Dreamland. And you bet we're going to the moon in this too. Honestly, I already know Clean has nothing. Fun fact right here is the Lolo refight, or the mid boss for Castle Lolo and Castle Lala. Squishy! Squishy has nothing. Squishy's coming out of the sky. Take said momentum and go with it. Okay. Oh, they don't have the hidden door here. Okay. Get our tomato. Into the bubbly clouds. Walk into that Scarfy because I can. First is gonna follow me because it can. Alright. Now we've just beaten Kracko Jr. in Dreamland, and we're going through the puzzle piece here. Now we're gonna go into the Starfall room. Dodge all the falling stars because this is extra mode. Now we're gonna go into our climb. And just like in the Game Boy, it doesn't lag at all. We're gonna go into the moon room. Get our 1-up. We're gonna hit our switch. And get our tomato. And we're gonna go fight. Oh, we're gonna go fight Kracko. We did it. Level 3, we get the Dreamland stage, which is in World 7. This stage can be a nightmare, if I remember correctly. I didn't get the umbrella. Alright, we got Parasol. I can't have you right now, Parasol. I just don't have the fingers anymore for Parasol. So right there. So that's where the switch is at for that one. Kaboom. This is where rock really comes into handy here. Oh no, in this room here, this will be... Oh, that's where the switch is at in this one. Alright. So if you were a real gamer, you'd have ball. Oh, the snowman was giving us anything? Okay, that's right. Needle was hammer. We're good with that. Good with needle being hammer. Run through all this. We fling ourselves up. If you're wondering why when we hit the switch that you don't see some of the room appearing, it's because it's for other worlds. So we're getting switch rooms for other worlds or other stages in the game, and those are unlocking those. Here we're going into, yeah, Mr. Bright, Mr. Shine. This is why hammer is awesome. This is why we usually mix for hammer. How it lets us watch for rolling rocks and 0.5 5 presses. Oh, another World 7 stage. Oh, do you think sleep is my star rod? Sleep is backdrop. That's really unfortunate. I mean, I could tell you sub-pixel credit warping in Kirby's Adventure. I can tell you UFO glitch as well, too. Also, in this, you can actually soft lock yourself in this stage. Kirby's so talking about any percent glitchless or any percent glitched. In any percent rock glitch, aka credit warp, what you're supposed to do is something subpixels. So these slopes all have separate subpixels in them, and you can jump and float, and you can eventually get inside of them. But there's also a barrier to not be able to get out. If you're real lucky, while you're floating and jumping through the stage, you can hit one of those subpixels and get yourself stuck in one of those platforms. You have to restart the game and essentially start the entire stage over. Pretty awesome. I've had it happen to me a couple times. Oh, nope, on out of there. Oh no, the umbrellas. But the way Rock Glitch works in Credit Warp, it's a little complicated. Anyone could technically do it. Your finger's gonna hurt, I can tell you that. But what you do is in the so you have to jump up and you have to mix for rock. Once you've mixed for the rock ability, you have to go into the second screen in stage 1-1. And what you do is you have to like run and jump and do a bunch of jumping into this hillside, which will let you clip into out of bounds. And typically you're not allowed to use your copy abilities underwater unless it's like hammer or sword. But if you have rock, if you edge your way to the water in 1-1, I think it's on like the 6th or 12th frame from the ground as you're going up. If you turn into a rock and pause, you will you'll essentially glitch the game out, and it'll take you right into a glitched version of the credits. Pretty fun facts there. UFO glitch, though, that's my preferred any percent style is UFO glitch. UFO glitch is actually super dope. I don't know where that fork is going. Oh, alright, well I guess we're going down here. There it is. The UFO glitch. Oh. UFO glitch is if you get hit while spitting out your ability on the same frame, or enter a door while exiting your ability on the same frame, you'll get to keep it, because you can't keep UFO in between stages. But if you do that, you can glitch UFO and keep it until you, well, ultimately die. Use a glitch that makes you play less Kirby's Adventure. Well, I mean, it's a fair point. This is why. When you play a randomizer and an ability can put you to sleep like that. I mean, if we literally think about it, the odds of you completing a run, an any percent run like that, is pretty low. So you're just continually pressing restart. So I mean, in reality, you're probably putting in just as much time in I want that tomato. You're probably putting in just as much time doing an any percent run than or any percent glitch run than an 80% glitchless run. I don't know how much time Rich has put in to any percent. I know I've put in a decent amount of time. I know Controller Head has as well. There's a bunch of us that put in a decent amount of time into any percent. But I was more into UFO than I was anything else. Oh, that was close. Alright, so here, if you actually just hold up and dodge all of that, let's go right to the door. It looks scary, it's not. Also, typically, if you're a Kirby speedrunner, you play a trillion other Kirby games too. Typically. Having started with Dreamland 1, I then made my way to Kirby's Adventure, which then turned into Superstar, which then turned into Dream Course, which then turned into Meta Knight, whatever. Oh, it's the other piece of World 7-4, I think it is. You put me to sleep, get out of here. Oh, Gordo. Dude, imagine if the Gordos did 3... Oh, we got bonkers. Imagine if the Gordos did 3 damage to you in this game. Because, you know, in Dreamland they did 3 damage to you. Ooh. So if you don't know how Bonkers works very similar to that of DDD does in Dreamland 1. Where his hammer would hit in Kirby's last known position. There's a 3. But we haven't got a 3 all night. There we go. Alright. 1-5. Oh no, not this stage. Oh. This is 7-1 or 7-2. Oh, this stage is a disaster. Yep. This is a stage you want Wheel or Tornado on. And that's why. Yeah, this stage sucks. Oh, okay. Well. Okay. Well. You stop jumping? I'll learn you. Another child. Oh, I'm dead. Oh, cool. Just put me right here. Like that. Not like we don't have enough lives to keep going. Alright. Rude. Wheel gave us nothing. Okay, well, Big Wheel gives us ice, apparently. Oh, this stage. So this stage here, you would tip... Don't... Okay. Typically, in this stage here, you would use Wheel or Fireball. Each one of these little sections is gravity, so it's hard for me to push up here. But it's real easy for me to go up here. So you use that to your advantage. Again right there. Oh, I'm gonna... That screen's a lot harder without Wheel or Fireball. Wow. Why is it? You're gonna have to ask the person that made the randomizer. I don't know. I don't know. I don't make randomizers, I just play them. Alright, so lasers are Fireball. Alright, we ain't getting shot up in the air today. Yeah, nothing like having a World 7 stage and what we in World 4? 3, 4? Which in theory means we should get the level or level 1 and 2 stages in World 6 and 7. Spark is also Fireball. Oh wait, Poppy. Out of my way, Frosty. Oh, Frosty's laser. All right. Oh, better watch out. I got laser beams. That Waddle Dee is on a mission. Alright. Alright, where's my candy at? That's what I'm looking for. Let's go. Let's through that. All the lag. Alright. Grab the Star Rod, then perish because Star Rod was replaced by sleep. Oh my god, how funny would that be? It reminds me of KDL 3. So I just finished up KDL 3 in my other archipelago group that I play with. And typically to fight Zero in KDL 3, oh no, we're fighting Krakow. Without high jump, by the way. Oh, this sucks. Oh, this really sucks. Oh no! Jump is cutter! Oh, this super sucks. No! Oh no. They use high jump to get to the top of this fight against Krakow, but we do not have that luxury. Oh. I don't remember how Krakow worked here. Oh, I haven't done a climb like this for the Krakow fight in some time. Alright. Holy smokes. Jeez. My star! Oh, come on, Krakow. This is rough. Oh, I might get hit again. Oh, that ain't good. Oh, how did that hit me? Are you kidding me? Oh, wow. How do I have high jump? Oh my god. I thought it was going to give me cutter. Oh. Because this one here gives you cutter. So I got confused. And then I jumped right into Krakow and died. Rude. Oh, somehow they get hit by Krakow there. Oh, this is the worst. Alright, well, I know if I pick up a high jump down during the fight, it'll be high. Ooh, look at that dodge. It'll be high jump. God. So dumb. Oh yeah, that lag is good. You drop one of your little buddies now? No. How did I dodge that? Okay, yeah, see, that's how I jump. Yeah, now we're talking. Yeah, I know how to fight Krakow like this. Yeah, I know how to fight Krakow with high jump. That's what you do in the normal game. We haven't found UFO and we haven't found Star Rod. I think those are the and needle. We haven't found those 3 powers yet. Star Rod, UFO, and needle are still absent. Don't hit me. You just gotta do a lot of dodging. There we go. Kobe. Oh. This is a wheel stage. Yep. Get out of here. Oh. I was trying to go for a mix. Oh, no! Oh no! Oh. Oh, the apple got me. Yeah. Okay. Okay, it sparked. Let's settle down. Man, I really wish I had wheel. Don't shoot. Stone. Right. Oh, I do need. Oh, no! No! Parasol! Well, I mean, you can do it a long way. Oh. It's been a long time since I've done this way. Oh. Oh. Oh, I don't have it anymore. You can in theory do that section and with backdrop. Oh no. Backdrop is useless. Well, we have more than one hit. We have more than one hit point now, so. That made it easy game. First try. Give me my points. Going for high score. Oh. This is okay. Surprised clean doesn't have anything. What was this one? Oh, no. Why do I always forget Fireball is sleep? It is a very void Kirby. I'm a little mad we haven't found Star Rod yet. How is that one slow? I feel like 3 copy abilities are sleep right now. I'm not happy about it either. Alright. Oh, okay. This is the, this is actually the stage you would do the clip on right here. Is it? No. I think I'm ahead of myself. Very similar. No, I say this is world. This is stage or level 2, world 2, whatever you want to call it. Don't do it. Very similar, but typically that's the hill you're looking for though in 1-1. I don't think we've hit in that stage yet, honestly. Heck that door. I'm gonna take a nap on the cloud again, apparently. That keep forgetting that fire is sleep. Spark is fireball. Stone was just stone. Remember what laser was? Laser was laser. Alright, well, that's good to know. The one up. Oh, cannonball. I don't need that. It was fun to kill things, so. Alright. Bad laser. Oh, got Waddle Dee. I can't believe we haven't found three of the copy abilities yet. I cannot believe it. We're what, like an hour into this rando, and we're still missing 3 copy abilities. Well, that guy just took it in the face. Excuse me? Okay. Oh, yeah, that's fine. How is that laser? Whatever. I don't even ask questions anymore. It's just like the Krakow fight all over again, where like one high jump was cutter and the other one was high jump. I just don't ask questions anymore. It's easier that way. So here's rock. Okay, so stone is stone. How did I not get the needle guy in there? The needle is hammer, which is fantastic. Oh, come at me. Bad wheel. Bad wheel. So that room is typically a UFO. We're not getting a UFO. Oh no, maybe it is a wheel. Can't remember now. A lot of the side rooms are UFOs. Oh, okay. You can play that game. There's gonna be wheels coming in hot here. If my inhale button would work. Kirby! You got that, Kirby. Yeah, easy peasy. Okay, well, apparently you don't... Can't slide up there. Little mic action. Oh, get Bugsy out of here. Get Bugsy out of here. I do not like this idiot. Shoot your spawn. Fireball. How are you fireball? Your backdrop. Oh. I want Star Rod so bad. Or UFO. I'll take UFO even. I'll even take a UFO. I'm taking intentional death here. I don't want to listen to Dean. Whoa. Waddle Dee coming in hot right there. That's sleep. We're not going to sleep again. Oh, that's a pit. Do they got the reflexes of a 36-year-old? All right. Always something. Sir Kibble gives us literally nothing, which is kind of sucky. Parasol is this. Okay, well, that Parasol's backdrop. Yeah, back body drop him for not having anything for me. You go down, Kirby? We're gonna take this warp star here. No, you're asleep. I don't want you. You're both asleep. Well, we're fighting the lion without anything, apparently. Oh, you're both are asleep, but I don't want to deal with that. Alright, well, we're doing... Oh, boy, we're doing this the old-fashioned way. Come on. I haven't fought the lion like this in a hot minute. How rude? Bad kitty. That's why you get turned into a turtle in Nightmare in Dreamland. We found Needle, let's go! We found Needle finally. One of the 3 we were missing. Needle. The power of Needle. This was a randomized Kirby palette that we got too. When you read the hint screens, oh, the hint screens are actually readable in this one. Most of the hint screens you can't read at all until they transition because of the black text. Well, there went Needle, everyone. Hope you weren't too attached to it. Oh, okay. You guys want some wheelies? Oh, we get in the mix. We get in the mix. Oh, we haven't gotten Crash yet. I guess we didn't get Crash yet, so... Oh, do we know what Sleep was? Was Sleep Sleep? Sleep was Backdrop. Let's Backdrop the laser. Oh, that's a Gordo. Yeah, through it, it's fine. Oh, all that for a little jug of juice. High jump, parasol, which is fire apparently. All of a sudden, parasol I feel like has changed like 3 or 4 times now. The sword hasn't. Gengar. Gengar used Mind Spike. Man, this is where I wish High Jump was actually High Jump and not Cutter. Alright, suicidal. Okay. Well, don't mind me, just gonna go back up. Oh no! There we go. Oh, no. Oh, where'd you come from? That's dumb. I went through that. Are you kidding me? Subpixels, chat. All right. There we go. Get me out of that room. What a dumb room. No, my tomato. Get me out of the stage. All the points we're getting, though. That's what really matters, is the points. I don't have any weapons. Do I have the museum unlocked in here? It's a really good question. I do. Stone or tornado? I don't know what we're fighting, but we're going tornado. Oh, yep. I don't know where I am. Oh, all right, I'm inside. Oh, God. This is a terrible idea. Yep, that's... Oh, no. Missiles! Ooh. I was inhaling. Oh, this ain't good. Kirby takes it right in the face. All right. Well, tornado seemed like it was working good there for a minute. Until it wasn't. This is where you would mix for hammer, by the way. Otherwise, this is how you do the fight normally. It's real tedious. Now we're gonna go up. And we're gonna die. Oh, no, we're gonna survive. Boss was nice enough to us to stay on the ground. Oh, I forgot how long this boss fight actually is, doing it the proper way. All right. Give me my rod. Thank you. Look at all the void Kirby's out there now. All right, we're going to Orange Ocean, where the final boss of this place is Meta Knight. We've done a lot of the water stages already, though, which is actually... Oh, ball? Ice. Oh, 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 tornado, where are you? No! If you inhale your old power star with a newer item, you just take on what the old power star was. We'll never... Oh, a lot of ball in here. What was ball again? Ice. This is a World 7 stage as well. What hit me? Jerk? Alright. Dude, ice in this section ain't bad. Oh. Oh, alright. Well, that's gone forever. Okay, well. Sword. Oh! I sneaked past that one. I think we've gotten all of the World 7 stages except for the boss gauntlet. Which I don't know if I don't think that one can be randomized, because some of the ones with the warp stars have to stick around. I'm gonna need that. Yeah, let's go. Out of my way, swordman. Oh, okay. Good joke. Good meme. Oh. I don't know where those forks are going. Forks make me real nervous. Ooh. Alright, well, we got through that. Too bad. That's where you want Fireball to go through all this, but such is life. I'll walk underneath you. Avoid all that. Oh, this is the cool stage with Fireball too. That's really unfortunate. I get to see it as lowly Kirby. Oh. Right at the end too. All right, see if we can do it in one shot again. Fireball through this stage is so cool. Kind of have to use the lag to your advantage. Keep pressing left or right too early. Onto the boat! I was not paying attention while I was doing there. Alright, we're good. Get out of here. That guy came hot. Alright. Bonkers? Well, I got a cutter coming at me too. Like that. You throw your... Yeah. Oh, you jerk. Get out of here. What's Bonkers giving us? Spark? No one wants Spark. You can't even spark out of here. You need the hammer to get out of here. Oh, that's rough. That's rough. I think I know where some of that health is. So there's a trick to this. Clearly you remember it by getting a hit right there. Let's say it's over here. If you fly up one side of it, you don't get touched by anything at all. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Like Top Gun Kirby edition. Gotta go dogfighting with a Scarfy. Alright. I don't remember what this stage was. You all had nothing. This part here is actually pretty dope. Typically you run around here and do like a puff, but if you hug this corner and just slide dash into that corner, you can break that bomb. So you can skip a piece of the stage by doing that. struggle swim. All right. Fireball. So this should be poppies. Oh, it went away. I was hoping it bounced one more time. Freeze. Easy stage. Give me another one up. Yeah, the normal. So that the strategy I was trying to pull in that threading room is the powerless any percent ability or category, where you beat the game without collecting any powers at all. But I kept tapping right too early. Okay, so we know kibbles don't provide us anything. Man, I wish I knew the cool Pete, the out of bounds trick for this place. I don't know it at all anymore. That back. Don't respawn. Oh, he's on respawn again because I went too high. Whatever. Oh, hello. Are you stone? You are stone. You are Mike. Eh. You are nothing. Oh, that's too bad. Poor snowman. That snowman has feelings. Hammer. That quick turnaround for hammer. Oh no! My hammer! I will die for this hammer. Oh boy, I might die for this hammer. What we got going on here? Also, another cool fireball stage that we're not going to get to see fireball on. That's too bad, too. Fireball on this stage is awesome. You have to time your fireball shots at like the absolute last second off these edges, and you can thread every single one of these needles. It's actually pretty dope. But we're not going to be able to see that. Maybe we will see it. Imagine swinging a hammer and missing. Alright, well. I'm pretty sure it's asleep still, yeah. Oh. There we go. Went too low on that one. Let's go for the one up. Just fireball. There you go. We got over one spike. Oh. Yeah, thank you. Okay, I know there's another one of you that comes up here. Pork man. Oh, not ball. Oh, I know what stage we're in now. Okay. I know what stage we're in. This stage here, you actually use ball. And the speed. Oh, no, not squishy. I was like, oh, that squishy's going to jump and kill me. Light. Worthless. All right. So I need health, so we're going to try and do... Oh, boy. It's fireball at least, so we'll take that. But you would take ball and you would fly down here, killing everything against the wall. Yeah. Alright. That's actually a shortcut in the stage too. Otherwise, the stage is actually a little bit longer than that. But if you take that switch exit, you cut the level by like 2/3. See if I can get a. Oh, this is not where I want to be. See if we can get a weapon ability. I'll take a laser. Well, this is Meta Knight anyway, it doesn't matter, I get the sword. You might be asking yourself, PVC, why are you facing Kirby the opposite way of Meta Knight? Because in my opinion, I honestly think it's easier to hit Meta Knight where you're not looking at him. Fun fact. I honestly think it's easier to hit Meta Knight when you're not facing him. Because when your sword swings, you sword in the front, but you also swing in the back too. And to me, it's just easier to hit in the back. I don't know why. Oh, okay. 7-2. All right, we have laser. Where are we? I don't know what stage. Dog fighting. I don't even know what stage we're in right now. Well, this is a wheel stage, but you're not. Oh, you are a wheel all of a sudden. Yeah. You can see some impressive wheeling. Through the wall. Let's go. Wheel's gonna be useless for this, so we're gonna go fireball. That's what she said. Is what she said. Oh, look. Oh, time to get turtled. Stupid thing. I hate this fight. Oh, rude. You just threw your rock? Thank you. I get scared. Oh, I'm a little scared. I get scared. Cutter. So just better sliding through all this stuff. I need that. Alright. 7-2, I think, is the one with the warp star. Seven two will be the one. Yeah, so if you're really cool, you can just walk through there, but if you're super duper cool, you enter this way. Bad bonkers. I don't remember what bonkers was, but it wasn't hammer. No. Woo! Woo! Too fast for you. That was a too fast, too furious moment right there. Oh, not the bug. Oh, I'm dead. I'm alive. Stupid bug. I think the lion's next, right? Stupid thing. Fun fact, you hang out right here, it can't reach you ever. You just wait for it to do its little, like, leap at you. This thing right here. The rinse and repeat. If you're ever about to die, that's how you do this fight. It takes forever, but it works. Oh, what are you doing, Kirby? Kirby getting wild. Kirby getting wild, I don't like it. Alright. Your fireball, let's go. Your big leap, let's go. Just getting shifty. I don't remember what he was. Needle, that's right. Now look at all these one-ups we can get. The stage ain't over yet, though. We got the ultimate end boss coming up here in the stage. The absolute ultimate end boss. The sword guy. The sword guy at the end of this screen right here has killed me more times than anything else. That sword guy has ruined so many of my speed runs. The ultimate end boss to 7-2 is not the actual like mini bosses, but it's the sword guy at the end. Another okay. Well, I'm gonna get cooked right there apparently. Okay, let's settle down. That Waddle Dee was in a hurry. I'm still a little... Oh, hammer. Death, actually. I'm so surprised we haven't gotten UFO. I'm a little mad that we haven't. Get out of here. Don't rub it in my face. Oh, there went hammer. Oh! I wanted the ball. Okay, well, I guess we don't want the ball that bad. we got a mix. Boring sword. That thing is going crazy. The fun fact with that room right there, in Nightmare Before Dreamland, which is essentially the remake of this game for the Game Boy Advance, there's actually a little red star, or red dot right there. How is that tornado fire? How is this sword? They're all changing. Okay, that tornado's tornado. All right, well, I'm not gonna chance it with that sleep being sleep, so. Okay. Why are we having such a hard time here, Kirby? We're getting all the one-ups right now. Oh, we got tornado too. Let's go. We're gonna play a little twister. Oh, whoa, oh! We went a little twisting out of bounds. We went a little. We got a little carried away there. Oh, okay. I went down there for that one hell. Oh, Jesus. I feel like I'm just getting screwed on pieces of this. Every once in a while, they'll be the right one. But every other once in a while, they'll be literally nothing. Or it'd be sleep. I already know you're sleep, right? Yeah. How do you have 3 copy people have the sleep ability? Like, I have UFO and Star Rod. We're supposed to be randomized into this. And I haven't gotten neither one. That's fire. That's high jump. Tornado's apparently just tornado. Yeah, it's just I might get Star Rod on like the last stage right before DDD, and it's gonna be great because DDD will just die in like 3 hits. I really wanted to showcase just how OP the Star Rod was. But also stage 1-1. This is literally the first stage of Kirby's Adventure. So this is where you would do the stone glitch right up. Oh gosh, no, please. Right here. You'd clip into this hill, and then you go into that water and do the credit warp. Rude. All right, we're going into 7-6. Oh, let the star go a little bit further than that. This fish has a vendetta against you. You gotta be careful of it. Nice. Big gat. Don't like where this is leading to. Alright, fireball. There's a sword guy right up here. Jumped way too early to get over that cannonball reliably. Please don't jump at me. Please don't jump at me. But here you would do a UFO mix. I don't know if I can still do it or not. We're gonna let that go away. Nope. Oh, this is scary. Dang it. Well, we got a sword. That's how you activate that mix, though. That mix is actually probably the hardest mix to do in UFO percent. He almost got me right there. Jumped over the nut. That's Wilden. Oh, he jumped over the star now? Ain't jumping over that though, are you? Okay. Oh! Goomba stomped. Try it again, Bonker. See what happens. Rude. Back up. Oh, okay. Well, you want to die that time, huh? Give me your spark. We got spark going into DDD. Which is kind of worthless against DDD, but... Oh, I hit his hammer. Oh, he's puffed up. It's a generous DDD so far. Oh, okay, there it is. I'm gonna need that star rod DDD. I gotta go fight somebody. No, Kirby, don't go. No, Kirby, don't go. Dude, see, Kirby's the mean one. Kirby's the actual jerk in the game, not DDD. See, DDD saved him twice now. Why? Because we randomized the Kirby palette. So, and Kirby just happened to be a void. So here's Star Rod, by the way, which is what we wanted in the regular playthrough. Because Star Rod is just insane in normal play. It super breaks the game. Yeah, this is the Kirby Adventure Randomizer, where we randomize all stages, all copy abilities, and we're supposed to have Star Rod in with the mix as well too, but we didn't get Star Rod at all in our playing like trash right now in our in our regular playthrough. It's Carby. I liked the refrigerator. What was my favorite one? The refrigerator. Was it the refrigerator Kirby? Or the cone Kirby were my two favorites from Forgotten Land. So this fight here, you can in theory do it in 1 health, but you can just hang out in the corner here. It really depends on how aggressive you want to be. Yeah. It depends on how aggressive you want to be. You can actually do this fight without getting hit. Oh, that lag was great. So here we just wait for him. Get out of here. This one here, he'll wait, but if you can get up there before he does that, you can actually hit him before he starts shooting. Right now. Oh, the lag. Rude. There we go. That is Kirby's Adventure randomizer. We get to see the cursed credits too. To see, I'm assuming that credits are going to be cursed. I kind of hope they are, honestly. Break the moon. This is how we get crescent moons, by the way. Every time you see a crescent moon in real life, it's because Kirby just got done fighting on it and broke the moon. DDD did absolutely nothing wrong. I'm a firm believer that DDD did nothing wrong. Bad dreams had invaded Dreamland. A nightmare came to the Dream Spring and tried to cause pain to the people. DDD foiled the nightmare. See, DDD's the good guy. By hiding the Star Rod from him, DDD helped Kirby beat the nightmare. Now everyone's dreams will return. Tonight, Dreamland will sleep well. I'm really hoping for some cursed credits. We had cursed intro. Thanks for the GGs, everyone. Yeah, we had a cursed intro. I'm kind of hoping for a cursed outro now. I'm telling you, DDD is the hero of the entire Kirby franchise, not Kirby. Oh, it's not too cursed. Although I would like to know how Kirby has backdrop in stage 1 against Wispy, first of all. Dude, he's just cheating right there. I don't know if you've ever read like the Kirby mangas, but Kirby is a menace in those mangas. Dude, this fight was impossible. This was the hardest fight in the randomizer with Kracko. I couldn't imagine fighting Mole Machine with Parasol. I just couldn't. I bet it works great. I just couldn't. rude Kirby is to DDD. I jumps off of him. Dang, not even a cursed ending. That's too bad. It really is. I was really hoping for one. But we get the cursed intro, so it doesn't even matter. I want to see I really want to showcase like the super cursed intro we got going on here. That didn't serve a lot of. It just didn't serve it justice. I can't believe we never found UFO and we never found Star Rod. That just absolutely blows my mind. But if you are looking to play the Kirby Adventure randomizer sometime, this was, let's see here. This was the randomizer that we used tonight. So you can color out your Kirby the way that you'd like it. You can do the random level orders, your random enemy abilities. Don't give abilities to enemies normally without, and include Star Rod. This one here we had 3 of the 4 checked. We didn't do the don't give abilities to enemies with normally without. That means your Waddle Dees, there's the curse screen. Your Waddle Dees, your Rondo Birds, your enemies like that don't give you abilities. But randomized level order except for Warp Zone stages. The way that Warp Zones have to work in Kirby's Adventure is that they have to be static from a point A to a point B that is already hard-coded into the game. So though Warp Zones are not randomized, they have to be the way they are, otherwise the game just absolutely explodes. It includes Star Rod. Typically, you only get to use the Star Rod against Nightmare at the end of the game, but you can include Star Rod into the normal playthrough of the game. It just, it's super broken in the game, and I really wish we could have showcased that. There are Kirby Adventure hacks out there. There are. I have played a couple. I have played it. Oh, this is a good one too. You get to watch Kirby get smacked around. This is how he became Void Kirby. He got bruised. All right, that is going to do it for me tonight. I appreciate you all hanging out. I know this was a pretty last minute randomizer. But like I said, it's a randomizer that not many people have probably played, not many people probably know a ton about. You don't need to know really anything at all about Kirby's Adventure. You can play through it without ever playing the game beforehand. I'd recommend playing it beforehand though, just so you can get a sense of how the abilities work. But you don't need to have speedrun knowledge. You don't need to know glitches. You don't need to know anything at all about getting into this rando. You can just hop in and go. Super fun. There's no hangups. There's no roadblocks that can cause you, unless you're going for 100%. 100% might be a little tough, but still doable. But with that, we do have. You all stick around here. We do have. As I find it, my thingies here. We do have Latmaki coming up here very soon, within probably the next 20-ish minutes. Where they'll be doing their podcast episode live on RGL. So definitely stick around and watch that. With that, I bid you all adieu. Thank you all again for watching Kirby's Adventure Randomizer. I'm not sure what we'll have next week yet. Potentially Weapon will be back to help out with that. But anyway, thank you all and have a fantastic evening. Stick around for that, Mackie.
I almost forgot how to change the scene on OBS. So okay, it's been a long day. Hey, hello everybody. How you doing out there? Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever the hell you are. It's nice to see you all. Hey, look, we have guests. This is so exciting. Okay, if you're watching this live right now on a Retro Gaming Live TV, we're actually doing this live, so you can throw any questions, you can throw your hellos, your emotes, you know, hype it up in the chat, whatever you feel like. Please feel free. This is a live podcast recording of the Sequence Break podcast. The last time I did one of these was back in August. So if you hear a fair amount of stuttering or ums or I don't know what the hell I'm talking about, just call me out in the chat and make fun of me. I appreciate that. So let's see. There we go. We got some hypes. How you doing, everyone? We'll get started in just a second. So here's the thing. We're doing this on Shinobi 3 tonight. So if that's your jam, feel free. Ask some questions, join in, or if you just want to sit back and listen and enjoy the chat, we've got tons to talk about. So we appreciate you all just being here and watching and supporting. So thank you so much for joining us live tonight. Okay, there. Well, look at it. Oh, yes, cool. Look at this. We got some running emotes. I'm sure we'll get to it in just a second.
Faces.
Shinobi faces. Look at that. Okay, cool. Okay. Here I got to remember, how do I introduce? Okay, I think I remember how to introduce. We're going to try this. Here we go. Hello, everybody. My name is Lat Mackey, and this is Sequence Break, a look at speedrunning, game development, content creation, and everything in between. And welcome back. Hello. It's been a hot minute. This is the first time I've done this live since August. It's now April, and I am so stoked to be back. This episode, we are going to talk all about Shinobi 3, a game which was one of my favorite casual playthroughs I've ever had. Hence, got to dive into the speedrun, got to check it out. How the heck do you play this game? What's everything about it? I'm so excited to chat. And here to join on this episode, world record holder at multiple times, and I've been running the game now for a few years. Bacon Omelet, thanks so much for being here. How you doing?
Hey, not bad. Thanks for having me.
And so stoked that Cure could join us, and I'm hoping I'm pronouncing the name correctly. Cure, maybe, according to speedrun.com, you're the first person who ever submitted a time to speedrun.com for this game. So, was there anybody before you?
I think there had to have been, but I don't remember.
It was so long ago. Not on speedrun.com.
Well, maybe when it was for SRC, you know, because we had the SDA and we have, you know, so I know that there were some others. We'll get to it as we talk, but according to speedrun.com, which of course doesn't lie, it's got to be accurate. It's on the internet. Mm-hmm. So you're the first. But anyway, so excited. Okay, so we have some experts to chat about the game, folks, and we'll dive in here in just a sec. Before we get into any of that, I always like to, you know, give the guests a chance to get to know them a little bit. So, Bacon Omelet, why don't we start with you and tell us a little bit about your start in gaming before even speedrunning or anything like that. What were some of the first games you played, and how'd you get into gaming?
Oh gosh, I think the first game one of the first games I would have played was Shinobi 3. I don't know if you heard of that.
Little game.
I've been playing games since I was like 3 years old, and yeah, this game came out when I was 3 years old. So
So did
It
you
all
have
lines
Genesis
up.
in the family back then?
Oh yeah, we were a Sega family.
Fantastic. And Kier, how about you?
I guess we'll go with that question of like when I started gaming. I think I was like 2 years old and I played Contra.
Oh,
that was
he's
my
wanting
first
me
game.
up. He's wanting me up already.
But I mean, like, I got my Genesis after the NES, and like, yeah, Shinobi 3 was one of my favorite games. My sister had a friend that brought it over, and I was like, I love this game. And then my mom ended up getting it for me, and the rest is history. It was, I was hooked.
I got to join you both on this a little bit. I didn't have a Sega Genesis growing up, but my best friend did. And Revenge of Shinobi, the second one, was a game that we played nonstop. And the thing that I loved about Revenge of Shinobi is that at the time, I'm really big into cinema and film and stuff. And it felt like I was playing a movie when I played that game.
Oh yeah.
And even now, I just played Shinobi 3 just last year, so it's a very recent play for me, and it still has a lot of that feeling, but with like just turned up to maximum like awesomeness, because you can do all these cool things with it. And so that's one of the things I think I've enjoyed about the whole Shinobi series from that time period, is that it had this larger than life feeling to it, that you were getting to do all these awesome things, and it felt really good in the hands and all that kind of fun stuff.
Oh yeah. Yeah, Revenge of Shinobi is really, really cool. I mean, it's notorious for all the copyright infringement stuff. Like it had Godzilla, Batman, and Spider-Man, the Incredible Hulk, and Terminator.
Right. So cool. Okay, so cool. So let's first, let's break down the game a little bit, and then we'll get into the speedrun aspect of it, because I think this game has such a great casual playthrough or first playthrough that I can understand why people want to go speedrun it, because they want to have those similar feelings, I'm sure, of how well it plays. Let's first talk about, like, Bacon, I'll start with you. Kind of like, what makes a Shinobi game, or what does this game do that might be different than the other games? Like, what makes this game Shinobi 3?
I mean, like you were saying with Revenge of Shinobi, it's similar to that game. You're side-scrolling, you're a ninja, you're shooting kunais, you're hitting enemies. But this game kind of ups the speed quite a bit with running, which is huge. Revenge of Shinobi, you're just a ninja walking around, which is great, but running makes the game feel so much smoother, to me at least. Yeah, it's just so much speedier. You have more movement options as well. You got the wall jumps and dive kicks and all the crazy stuff that happens. You're riding on a horse in one level, you're on a little surfboard in a level. It's great.
It definitely has a huge diverse move set, and it for looking like a Shinobi game, it definitely, the running just almost makes it feel so different than the other two games that came before it. That was one thing I noticed right away. Kira, had you played any other Shinobi games before this one, or was this your first Shinobi game?
So before, I did play Revenge of Shinobi when I was younger, but I guess just not understanding like the pace of it kind of frustrated me, because I was already used to Shinobi 3 at the time. But no, like that was it. I didn't play like the very first Shinobi on arcade until I was like 29. So yeah, very different too. Did not play Shadow Dancer, didn't play Shinobi Legions. We can talk about those games later if you want, but yeah.
Shinobi was definitely one of those staples in most of the arcades that I remember growing up around. I don't remember playing it because I got destroyed a lot in it. So like a lot of arcade games, I'm sure like a lot of kids, it's something like that. The game just, I couldn't get very far. I could only get past first couple levels, and then I had to start pumping more quarters in. So it's not a game I played a ton, right? Bacon, do you have any experience with the original Shinobi game in the arcade?
No, I never played it in the arcade. Like Kier, I didn't play it till my 20s either, I would say. And even then, I didn't play that one too much. I mean, I played Shadow Dancer. That was another one on the Sega Genesis. Came out in between Revenge of Shinobi and Shinobi 3. And that game's more similar to the arcade one, where you have to save hostages in the levels. But you have a cool dog. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, right?
That's a good game, too. Good speedrun as well.
Kier, why don't you take us through some of the mechanics of Shinobi 3, and so what are kind of the basic movement, and if you're picking up the game for the first time, what are the basic things you can do as Shinobi in this game?
Sure. So as soon as you start playing Shinobi, you're going to notice that you can move left and right just like any other game you're walking. One thing that it doesn't exactly tell you is how to run, which you just press forward twice or back twice depending on the direction that you're going. Obviously there's a jump. You can throw your kunai, and there's obviously the ninjutsu, which is just a single button. You press start, you can select your ninjutsu and use it as you please. There's 5 different ninjutsu to select from, I believe. 4? Is there 4?
4.
5. Okay, there's 4. There's 4. Yeah. So you got your shield, your fire spin move, you got your explosive move, and then you have your shadow move that makes you jump higher. I don't know. I totally dumbed that down. I could break it further if you want to use more accurate names, but yeah. I mean, oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead. Please go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, yeah, like going through the game, you run through. Your first set of enemies are just the stationary ninja. You also have your other ninja that come out of the trees, and then you have these sort of like armored foes that take 2 normal hits to kill. But you can also pick up a POW, which is a power up, and that basically allows Joe to use powered up kunai, but also to use Joe's sword in melee range, which is very effective. And we definitely want to keep that in the speed run. We don't want to get hit, lose it, and then we lose all that time because we could be using powered up shots.
I remember some of these things feeling similar from Revenge of the Shinobi. With some of the ninjutsus are the same, and some of the attacks are the same, double jump, things like that. Were there Bacon? I'll throw this to you. Are any of the ninjutsus different from game to game, or does this one have any unique ones, or these are all the same ones we've had in the game past?
I believe this is all the same stuff from Revenge. Yeah. I don't know if they all function the same way, but it's the same ones. Yeah.
One of the things I think the game does really well is there are challenges in some of the platforming sections, as well as some of the combat stuff that you have to do and trying to figure out how to defeat certain enemies. And I think this game does I think that's one of the things that keeps it interesting from level to level, is that there's this variety going on, even though there are some auto scrollers and stuff like that in the game. Take us through some of the bosses, Bacon, because that's one of the things I think have kind of been a staple of maybe because obviously, as we mentioned in Revenge of Shinobi, there were so many infamous ones, but the bosses are actually really fun to kind of figure out and challenge you in this game.
Yeah, a lot of the bosses are pretty straightforward, but there's quite a bit of variety. Like the first boss is just this samurai guy who just slides around on the ground, so he's on the ground. And then the second level's boss, it's this little robot thing that's flying around, so you gotta jump and attack him. So there's some variety just with the first 2 bosses there. And then the third boss there is the really, really gross-looking Hydra guy. I think that's pretty infamous, that the art graphics for that guy. But yeah, there's quite a bit of variety. The speedrun obviously has some strats that make them pretty trivial. Like with the ninjutsus there, you can plan out when you're going to use them for those bosses. So that's all routed in. So the bosses are pretty trivial for the most part, I would say, other than like a couple that you have to actually like sit down and train to get good at.
Yeah, like round 6.
Yeah.
Every speedrunner's dream. They love doing it.
That was kind of my experience, actually, that when I was playing casually, that it didn't get a tad challenging. A couple ones at the end. The last boss, it took me a minute to figure out and stuff like that, where I definitely lost some lives to that one.
Oh, yeah.
One of the things I liked about the game, and this was this case for Revenge as well, was that it offers some things to make a casual playthrough easier, which for some of these games of this era, having this notoriously challenging aspect to them, it was nice that you can increase the shurikens and your lives to kind of make the game a little bit more beginner focused or beginner friendly, to say the least. The other thing, one of the things, if you look on some of the world record speedruns, I was having fun going through the YouTube comments where so many people comment on the quality of the game because it has these great gameplay elements. The graphics look phenomenal for the time, but then the soundtrack is just like this kicking soundtrack throughout the entire game. And I think it's kind of a staple of the Shinobi series from the Sega Genesis as well.
Oh, yeah.
Any thoughts on the soundtrack, or was that one of the things that attract? I mean, especially as a speedrunner, you're playing it 100 different times. I mean, do you ever get tired of the soundtrack?
No. Honestly, Clay said in chat, or CMM said in chat, Shinobi music is based. It's absolutely based.
Yeah.
It's really good. Like, what honestly helps speedrunning this game is how good the soundtrack is. Not even kidding.
Yeah, this was my first speedrun that I picked up. So picking up other games, I would quickly notice how tired I would get of other music. Like, if it's not as good, it's just like, oh, God, we got to listen to this again.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things I always recommend when people ask, hey, how do I start speedrunning or anything like that, is Well, can you stand the soundtrack? Because I've honestly picked certain games because the first level soundtrack is awesome. Like, and I don't get tired. Rondo of Blood, Castlevania Rondo of Blood is one of those ones where I'm like, I never get tired of this first level, and you're gonna play it 100 different times or 1,000 times, you know. So it is such a bop. Totally agree with you all in the chat that it's a great one. That's one of the things you can't say enough. And every level is like that. It's not like there's a clunkers in this one. Just from. And I think that's one of the things that added to me when I was playing Revenge of Snowy back as a kid. Like, I think the soundtrack definitely added to it making it feel like a movie, because a lot of late 80s, early 90s movies, when I was playing these games, the action movies sounded like this. Like, it literally has that feeling of what some of those movies felt like. I was into, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Bruce Willis, all these movies, where action stars and stuff had this kind of feeling to it. So.
Yeah, Yuzo Koshiro really nailed Revenge of Shinobi's music. He didn't work on Shinobi 3, but you can tell it's tonally different, the two games. Mm-hmm. But I think they both fit exactly what they needed to do for each game. Totally.
Okay, so now let's move on to the speed run a little bit, because Cure, having done the research on this now, I know you've been playing this game for a very long time. I don't know if you still play it, because I know you haven't submitted a PV in a while. I don't know if you're burned out on it yet, but tell us a little bit, how did you get into speedrunning, and when did you decide to pick this game up?
Sure, absolutely. So I came onto Twitch. This is relevant, trust me. I came onto Twitch when I was very much into Dota 2. So I was like, streamers on Dota 2. Okay, I'll watch the game, how the pros do it, and see if I can, get better. That didn't work out. I don't play Dota 2 anymore. But it did introduce me to Twitch, and I was like, oh, wait. Banjo-Kazooie, Majora's Mask, these are speedrunners on here. Like, what about Shinobi 3? So then I looked it up, and it's like, nobody's online in the directory. So I was like, why not I try? So I looked up times. One notable one was Mike Uyama. I was on SDA, and I was like, oh, he had a 29-minute time. I think I can do better than that. So I went ahead and set up my Twitch, and I was like, all right, this is going to happen. This is back in 2014, and I started with that, and then I finished the stream with my Binding of Isaac. It was fun. Like, I had speedrunning and then something casual just to wind down for the night. But yeah, since 2014, I've been speedrunning this game. I've been trying to do a bit of research into like what I can do to like make the run better. And yeah, honestly, like, it's been fun since then. We haven't really had a like real like tutorial until recently, and by recently I mean like 4 or 5 years ago now. Yeah. I need to update it. Absolutely. There have been a lot of research into, not research, but like a lot of updates into the run that are definitely going to get you a great time. My tutorial is going to get you a good time, but you can get a great time now. So yeah.
So first of all, no joke, you're not the first person to mention Dota 2 to get you into speedrunning, which is surprising to me. But then again, when you find a game you like, you're looking for others. Hey, who else has played the game? So I get that aspect of it. At the time you found Mike's run, was there any community around the game? Was anybody else running the game at this time besides Mike?
I don't think so. And here's the thing is that Bacon definitely was around that time, I think on YouTube, but I didn't discover Bacon until way later. I think I would say I discovered Eclipse Void's videos in 2015, 2016. It was probably 2016, actually. But yeah, and that's who Bacon was back then. That was his old handle. But yeah, he had some pretty cool stuff. You still have those videos up. They're just
I have
name.
Shinobi 3 videos from like 13 years ago. This is like some of the tech, like later on we can talk about it, but there's like a ceiling clip that you can do to get through some ceilings, which is huge for speedrunning. And prior to that, I'd never seen it, so I had that uploaded to YouTube over a decade ago.
That is so cool.
It was cool, but sorry to answer your question. I didn't really have any like community per se. I was kind of like a loner. I didn't really know who else liked the game. I mean, I've talked to friends and they're like, yeah, I've heard of the game, but they don't speedrun it. They heard of it, they played it, they didn't beat it, but yeah, I was just, around that time I was the Shinobi guy. And then everybody else came and man, I'm just...
You're out there living
great.
off your coattails. I'm just kidding.
It's great. It's great. I love it. I love it. Everybody's, came and, stuck around. It's been fun. Shadax in chat as well. he was the world record holder for a bit. And we can talk about that later if you want. It's quite a bit of shoot. Yeah. It was him, Bacon, A-Frame, and then I held the. Sorry, we can go through times later if you want.
No,
but I
no,
was
it's
just
totally
kind
fine.
of
I think it's a great time to do the history. It's Cure, Bacon Omelet, Shadex, A-Frame, Dagron. Is that a different category?
So Shadex is Dag, right? Different name.
Yeah, new name.
Okay.
New
Okay,
name.
new
Oh, my
name.
apologies. Okay, I'm so sorry. Okay, great. Okay, cool. So that's good. I'm glad we're getting the right, recognizing the right people for this. So cool. Okay, so then speaking of that, then Bacon Omelet, why don't we tell us a little bit about your history? How did you find speedrunning, and how the hell did you end up with this game?
That guy on the screen there, that's how I got introduced to the speedrun. Yeah, I can't remember how long into his speedrunning of the game that I eventually found him and then was just hanging out all the time. But yeah,
I can answer that.
Yeah, you might have you might have some dates there. But yeah, no, Kira was definitely someone that I enjoyed watching. Like, I never thought like, oh, I can't do that. He's so good at the game. Like, even when I started to pick up the game, I didn't speedrun the normal any percent category that Kira had the record in. I picked up from the kunai-less category that was brand new at the time. So that was my introduction to speedrunning this game, was a totally different category, which is also a really good category. But
So it was January 2017, whenever, like, I guess it may have been December, because I think there were older messages and I think they'd migrated to a new messaging platform. But yeah, Bacon and I were in communication, which was pretty cool.
Yeah, and I had been finding like tons of things in this game. Like, my history with this game, just on the internet as a whole, goes back to when the beta ROMs were dumped and shared online for this game. There's a couple beta ROMs that were out. When they surfaced, there was a whole like forum that's like long since gone now of fans of the game that were just dissecting everything they could with the betas, because one of them is quite a bit different, like totally different levels. So yeah, I was one of the people that was helping with uncovering some of the stuff from those ROMs, which is pretty cool.
Excuse me for just 1 sec. Okay, got it. Give me 1 second here. I had to restart a recording. Just 1 second. There we go. Okay. Yeah, that was one of the things that popped up in the research, which I was really surprised about, is that I don't know how often this happened back at this time frame, but basically the developers took extra time out, which would have cost a lot of money at the time, to it feels like some of those betas almost feel like a different game than what we got. And I'm curious, did you get a chance to play any of those? It sounds like maybe you've even, or at least you've seen them, you're somewhat familiar with them.
Well, it's funny, the betas that are online aren't the versions that were on in magazines in 1992.
Oh, interesting.
The 1992 magazine reviews of that build of the game that apparently didn't get reviewed too well, they're totally different than what we got on the internet right now. So somewhere out there, hopefully one day that ROM surfaces. I would love it if it did.
No kidding.
But yeah, there's a 1992 version of the game. I guess the developers and Sega weren't liking how well it was received, so they said go back to the drawing board, and they took another whole year, and yeah, it's basically a whole different game. Like, they had totally different levels and stuff. If you look, there's a bunch of magazine scans you can find online for that. It's really cool.
It's super cool, and it almost makes me thankful that something like that did happen, because we might not have gotten the game that we have today.
Yeah.
So
it definitely smoothed out some things from what, because yeah, you can read the reviews. That same magazine that reviewed the 1992 version also would have reviewed the 1993 final version that was released, and they were saying like it was a lot smoother of a game.
On the way off chance that anybody's listening to this might have access or know where that beta is, send it over to Hard for Games. Get them to dump the ROM, and we would
Seriously,
love it.
I would love that. That would be like Christmas times a million for me. I love this game so much, so if I were to get my hands on that version of the game, I could have like a different Shinobi 3 to speedrun, you know?
Right? Yes, totally. So when you got into it, Bacon Omelet, was anybody? I mean, besides Cure, was it still the same type of thing? There's not many of you doing if any, running it at this time.
Well, at the time, that's when, like I was saying, the kunai-less category. So to go into what that is exactly.
Yeah, please. Let's, what are the two categories?
So you have your normally you have your kunais that you can throw, and then your sword and melee attack would only come up if you were in close proximity to an enemy. So you couldn't manually do it other than just standing really close to an enemy. But there's actually a 6-button code in the game that changes it so you have a dedicated kunai button and a dedicated melee attack button. So that opens up just doing melee attacks. So that's a whole nother way of playing, right?
And that was pioneered by Faust.
Yeah.
Faust was definitely talked to me about it, and I was like, yeah, you should do it. Like, sure, why not?
Start
like,
it up. Be the first person to run it.
And I'm fairly certain he was. Yeah.
Yep.
Like he just did it. And then Bacon caught on, was like, I don't want to do the, expert. I just want to have fun. And then you did it, and then you ended up getting world record on it, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. It's so funny. Like you were mentioning, like you were watching Mike's video of 29 minutes, and you were like, oh, I can beat that. Because when I got into speedrunning and I was looking at your time, I was like, there's no way.
Is there any speculation to why a code like that might exist in the game? Is that a developer only thing? Because on a casual playthrough, and my Genesis, I only have a 3-button controller, so I wouldn't even have thought that something like that might exist. Is there any speculation why something like that exists?
I think it might have just been added by the developers near the end of the game's life cycle, because 6-button controllers were brand new or new-ish at the time.
There you go.
At that year,
right here in the chat, that maybe it didn't even hadn't
6-button
released
pad. Yeah, well there
or
we
right
go.
around that time. Yeah, interesting.
But what's interesting is that 6-button code never was known for like the first 10 years that game was out. And I'm not sure how it was even figured out. I know eventually one of the developers in an interview was straight up just mentioned that it was in the game. And then if you play the 3DS port of Shinobi 3, which was really cool, by the way, with the 3D slider thing, it actually looks really nice. That version of the game has in the options just 6-button mode option in there. So that's like built in.
Mm-hmm.
Kira, I was watching one of it was either PB or maybe it was your GDQ run where you talked about having played the 3DS version. And did you ever try speedrunning that one? Just curious
I talked about it because on my flight to GDQ, I had my 3DS at the time, and I was just practicing strats on the plane. Like it's really convenient. There's a level select. It's a great version of the game.
Yeah.
But the thing is, exactly. The problem though is just it's the controls. Like I would not recommend it just based on the controls alone. If I could plug a Genesis controller up to it, yeah, I'd probably do it. Absolutely. But
the first speed run that I ever attempted was Zelda 2, and the only way that I could play that game, I had emulators, but I was on my 3DS. I had the virtual console, and the D-pad, it feels like it's this big, so it's super tiny, and it's, to your point, it's not the most comfortable to try to learn speed. My respect for all of the folks who run 3DS, DS games and stuff like that is through the roof, because I mean, the buttons just feel like they're you can't even, they're so tiny.
I would be so scared of wearing out the buttons on that, because I've gone through 2-3 Genesis controllers just speedrunning this game.
It's intense. It's intense. All that, the double, the running.
Yeah, the run, you have to double tap on the D-pad. That D-pad just takes a beating.
So let's get into that. We've mentioned the basic controls, but it seems like some of the movement stuff is so important to the speed run. And one of the things I've actually really enjoyed when I've watched y'all's runs is hearing your inputs on your controllers when the microphone picks it up, because there is constant tapping going on throughout the run. And I didn't realize how much of it was until I saw your input display, Bacon Omelet, because I was just like, it feels like everything. I mean, there's a lot of inputs you have to do. So I guess, Bacon, let's start with you. Walk us through some of like the controls and mechanics for the speedrun aspect as opposed to the actual casual playthrough.
So like I was saying, you're going to have to really get used to beating up that D-pad. The double tap to run, you're going to have to do it often. It's pretty much, there's pretty much anytime you jump and then land from the jump, you're going to have to start double tapping run again. There's an exception to that, but for the most part, you're pretty much just every time you jump, you're going to have to double tap. Jump, double tap, jump, double tap.
And it's down to a science. Like, you know, Bacon over here has definitely like frame progressed it, scienced it out, as well as some other community members have helped with this as well. It's like, well, is it better to dive kick before falling off a ledge? Is it better to run? You know, there's definitely like, it's involved. It doesn't seem like there's a lot happening, but there's a lot happening.
Yeah, I have like math of frames, like, because every time you jump, Joe's like not moving forward for 2 frames because he's doing like the lifting off the ground animation. There's 2 frames where he's not moving forward. And then when you land, there's at least 1 frame where you're not moving forward on landing. So it's like, do I want to make that jump and lose 3 frames?
When you get to a certain point with optimization of the game, those do actually become real things, right? Like where you're making, you do that calculus in your head.
Yeah, it's definitely come to that point. At least for like the first level, I grind the heck out of that first level. So every time I like miss a frame, I can tell.
Also the music, you just you hear it.
You can hear the music and it's just like, oh, it's this part of the song. I should be like 2 pixels further. No, it's not quite that bad, but
yeah. Well, here you mentioned that during some of your runs, and I'm curious if you do that as well, Bacon. You use the audio, or that helps you know where you pace wise. Like, how are you using the audio in this game, from a mechanic standpoint or any other standpoint?
So I personally will use it on the start of the run, second snare drum, just start running. And even though the screen's black, Joe's going to start running. Second stage, it's going to be the first mini boss. I use audio as well as a placement, but mainly audio. Bacon, I believe, uses a different setup, but it's just comfort. You know, not everybody's going to use audio cues, but I like using them. I think they're effective. Same with auto scroller stages. Those are very beneficial. So like the round 6, stage 1, you know, traps, the falling rocks, really beneficial there. You're going to know when the ninjas are going to come out and shoot a shuriken at you. Really beneficial.
You mentioned the second snare drum. So are you able to buffer that input, or is that still, are you technically taking control of Joe? Like, how does that work as far as the run goes?
I think, Bacon, you mentioned something about that. I don't know if it's a buffer.
So when the round, like when the level starts, it has this whole little map screen thing, but you can just mash start and skip that, and then it fades from black to showing the level. But during that fading from black, you can start doing some inputs while it's still not quite visible.
I'm gonna guess that becomes pretty important too when you're trying to get through the level as fast as possible. So
yeah, getting that head start on that first run input is really nice.
One of the things I noticed right away is how you're actually doing some of those double tapping runs on very small platforms. And I assume, or I guess when you're first picking up the game, is that where you're starting? Are you starting on just the mechanics, or are you trying to do some of the more advanced tricks? Like, where's a good place to start as far as just picking up the mechanics of the speed run?
Oh man, that's a good question. Honestly, like what stage do you start to be good at this game? Like, first level? I don't know. Actually, no. Just throw them straight into round 5. I trust me, you'll love it. Everybody hates that stage, but probably not as much as round 6. But yeah.
Well, I did appreciate watching the tutorial that you did break it down by round, and round 1 looked like it got posted first or published first. So
it did. So. Yeah, I definitely like recorded them and posted them as they came out. Yeah, that's what I did. Then I put them in a playlist, and it's all good. But I will say, yeah, round 5, stage 1, abysmal. There's so much execution. It's very tight.
Difficulty spikes up. Just casually playing that game, round 5, when that starts, that's when the difficulty is just like, well, I hope you have a basic understanding of the mechanics, because here's a bunch of enemies and exploding things everywhere.
You think you just got to do it, says Todd. It sounds like that's the one of those things where just dive in and, you know. There's in fact, interestingly enough, Enemy just rated, and it reminded me, you know, when I talked with Enemy so many years ago, he was talking about how he likes to practice each stage before he picks up a run. And I'm the type who likes to play through the game a bunch of times, and both approaches have some validity to it, but this game seems like it will punish you if you don't have the basic mechanics down, especially as you get later on into the run.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think I take the approach of breaking it down level by level. I like that. way of going about it.
Yeah, one big mechanic that is very easy to not get good at or just like fail at is double jumping. Because like if you're not very well in your double jumps, you're going to miss an input, fall, or you're going to double jump too early. You know, there's definitely a lot of things you can mess up with that.
Yeah, I think double jump would be something that, like, I know casually kind of trips people up because there is a fairly strict timing about the double jump. Like, you can't just jump. Like, you have to be at the peak of your jump to press jump again to get that double jump to come out. So that's a bit tricky, just getting into it.
On the casual playthrough, I would say I probably didn't get comfortable with it until about 30, 45, maybe even an hour in, finding where that exact double jump
sweet spot
timing was. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's also some interesting things that I, just from like my first watching of the speedruns, I found that you've got clips in the game, you've got some zips in the game, you've got things that you're taking advantage of, some of the item abuse, if you call it that, where you're just taking your power-ups all the way to the end. Before I get into those, I don't know if this is a basic mechanic, but Cure, one thing I noticed right away in your early runs was firing in the any percent run, firing, I want to call it the shurikens, but they're not that. They're how do you pronounce the word? Kunai, thank you. And it looks like there's a rhythm to it that I didn't even discover that as I was playing through casual. I just got a little frustrated because I couldn't fire that quickly. What the hell is that? And how was that discovered?
So this is what happened. I was watching Mike's run, and I noticed on 4-2, the boss, Mike was doing this like quick 2-fire burst. He was like, throw one, jump, throw another one. And I was like, that's interesting. Let's test this out. And so I was just playing it around with it one day, and I was like, oh, this is viable. I can do this. So then I tried just jump and attack in a certain rhythm, but really fast, and it worked. So it's like, okay, cool. That's amazing.
Yeah, so that's the rapid fire technique you're talking about there.
Yeah.
To explain a little bit specifically how that works, your jumping animation, like I was mentioning earlier, there's like a little couple frames where Joe's like about to leap off the ground. You can cancel that animation with a kunai throwing animation, but you can cancel the kunai throwing animation with a jumping animation. Repeat.
So
Yeah.
I should have asked this earlier. You know, when we run Sonic 2, we there's all the
pianos,
pianos and stuff. Are you playing this game the same way, or are you guys thumbing it?
I'll let you answer. I have an answer, but I'll let you answer.
There's different methods depending on the runner, actually.
Yeah.
I like to use 2 thumbs.
Okay.
I will move my left hand over, and then I will press the buttons with 2 different thumbs. I think Kier uses 2 fingers.
No, I use 2 thumbs as well.
Oh, you use 2 thumbs?
C and B. I thought you rolled your fingers. You changed the button.
Yeah, so there's another aspect to that.
Yeah.
There was about a year where I was just like, okay, I'm going to speedrun other games. And then during that year, I wasn't playing a lot of Shinobi 3. And during that time, I was also considering changing my control scheme for playing the game to a method where, I can just roll my thumb. So I made jump A button instead of the C button that it normally is on default. So I could roll my thumb from jump to kunai and then just roll it back and forth, just from A to B, A to B, A to B, A to B. But it's a little bit slower, but I found it more consistent because, if you don't get the right rhythm, you can end up jumping in the air, and obviously that's not desirable. So I have 2 different methods. One's a little slower but consistent, and then the double thumb thing, it's way faster.
I gotta ask because good, Kurt.
You mentioned piano mashing in Sonic, and it's funny, at a GDQ I was practicing that, and I was like, they used this, and I found out that you can use that. It's slower, but you can use it, and here's the caveat to that. You can actually still ninjutsu if you have the timing off, because you're actually using A with this. It's like ABC or CBA, CBA, CBA. But I don't recommend doing it. But if you find a rhythm for it and it works for you, do it. Just do it. It's fine.
Yeah, it's definitely up to the runner, which is kind of like a cool meta aspect of the speed run, just how you're going to hold the controller, what you're gonna do with your hands. Like I don't really see a lot of that in other speedrunning like tutorials or anything like that. No one talks about the aspect of how do you hold a controller and press buttons.
It's valid, honestly. Like, it really is.
If anybody's listened to this podcast before, they know I've mentioned it a million times, but the first time I saw people at a GDQ when I went live running Super Metroid, it was almost like artistry. My brain literally broke just watching how different people gripped the control and all these, inputs and stuff. I wish, Kira, on your run at the GDQ, they would have had the camera cam, because you can hear all these things going on, but you can't see your controller on the run. So I'm like, dang, it would have been awesome to see.
Yeah, hand cam, honestly,
I love
do
it.
that in the future. They should absolutely do hand cam in the future.
I started doing that just on my stream because you mentioned Super Metroid. That year that I wasn't playing Shinobi 3, I was playing Super Metroid. I picked up that game. I love that game. And yeah, like, I got a controller cam just because of that game. You have to change your hands so much.
I don't know if anybody else out there feels this way, but when I first decided to try a different grip playing a game, so I run a lot of TurboGrafx 16 games, and we have turbo switches, and so I started using claw grip to flip them off so I could keep pressing the buttons while I'm running. And it's intimidating to try something that you're not comfortable with. At least for me, it was. And so I never even considered that people could play the games that way. Like, no way, it's got to be thumbs. That's the only thing I know, So I think that's some good advice from you all, that you have to find what's comfortable for you, and don't be afraid to try something if something's not working the way the world record holder is doing it, or something like that, right? Like, you gotta find what works for you.
Even if it takes you out of your comfort zone. Like I said, I've been playing this game since I was 3 years old, in 1993 when it came out. I never changed how I changed the buttons ever. So like the 2 years ago when I was just like, I'll just try a different control scheme, I needed that like year break to just get rid of decades of muscle memory. And what better way of doing it than picking up Super Metroid when you're forced to change how your hands are holding the controller like a dozen different ways.
Your brain had to have broken during that point. I mean, that just seems so...
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay, so let's dive into some of the other things this game has to offer from a speedrunning perspective. Let's start with, I guess, the zips or the clips. You tell me which one might make more sense. But there are times where you are clipping through some walls, and then there are times where you're literally being zipped around the screen. And how does that happen? Why does that happen? What are these? I guess walk us through some of them.
So I guess clips and zips, they kind of go hand in hand. Clipping was initially found out from me just tinkering with the game. And the way it works is you do a wall hop and then you throw a kunai. But during that animation, for some reason, there's no collision detection. So you can just phase through things. So during that animation, you're still kind of having the momentum of jumping upwards. So obviously going upwards with no collision means ceilings don't exist. Yeah. So you have those few frames where it's just like nothing exists. You're just phasing through. But then once you're inside of a wall, it can either, like you were saying, zip you, or if you're really, really stuck in the wall, you'll just be stationary in that wall. But you can wiggle out. So it has that kind of like ejection code that I think a lot of games might have, where if you press left, if the game sees you're in a wall, it's going to push you to the right. It's going to push you the opposite direction of what you're actually pressing. So that's the case in this game as well. But you can also jump and do a dive kick really quickly, and you can actually increase your height. So if you're stuck in a ceiling and you don't quite make it all the way up, you can actually jiggle your way up, even without phasing through, just with that.
How did that impact the speedrun at the time when you had discovered some of these? What did that equate to as far as time goes?
I wasn't around speedrunning at that time. That was just me tinkering with the game.
Oh, geez.
And
it was tremendously impactful. I will say that.
Yeah, I don't know if you knew about it right away, because I don't think Mike Uyama's run did anything like
his doesn't have
He
it,
didn't. And the first time I saw, was it? No, I'm sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. But yeah, I definitely incorporated that in certain areas of the speedrun, and they saved a lot of time. Like, shoot, like round 3, you use that to get to the corner, fight the glitch brain boss, The ooze doesn't load. Save a lot of time doing that. There's round 5. It wasn't found until later. I found this through Burton. He does not speedrun Shinobi 3 at all. But this was back in like 2017 maybe. There's actually a warp in round 6, stage 2. You can actually just warp directly to the boss. It's the only round or stage that actually works that way. So every single phase of the stage is connected to one another, and the traps room just happens to be connected to the boss. So you clip into the ceiling, go to the left, dive kick immediately, I believe, and then you just wait, and then it warps you to the boss. But yeah, it's the only stage that does that.
Yeah, it's a unique stage because you have to go through doors. Like, this whole area is like a maze. You have to try and figure out, do I take this door to go over here, or does that door take me backwards into the level, so I have to redo things? So you got to figure out where to go in this maze of a level. But yeah, there's this one room that you can be in, and it's right beside what would trigger the exit for entering the boss area. So you just go out of bounds in that room, touch the trigger to go to the boss room instead of just doing the level normally. So that's that one was a pretty big time save there.
If you all can hear my dogs, they want to try the zips themselves. They want to try some of that tech. So that's why they're letting their voices be known. Super interesting. Okay, so I know there are some tool-assisted speedruns of this, mostly by Dammit, but then the most recent one I think is also by Cool Hand Mike and Dammit.
Yep, Cool Hand Mike.
Were those actually? Let me back up just 1 second before I ask about this. Cure, were you aware of any of the tasks before you started picking up the game, or had you ever seen those? Had you thought about incorporating any of that into your run at that time?
So the one by Dammit, the 22 one before Cool Hand Mike had assisted in furthering that one. Yes. So Ta and chat mentioned vertical sips, and I was like, the task does a vertical sip. So I was like, how can I incorporate this? So I don't recommend trying this because it's not human viable, but I do have a clip where I actually get through the entirety of the final stretch in 7.2 doing a vertical zip. So that's a zip. So basically, you set yourself up by just getting in a wall. And whenever I think you were mentioning the game kind of pushes you out, you want to kind of make it so the game doesn't push you out fully. So you can just hold yourself in a crouching position and just start attacking while you're moving out, and the game is going to take a little bit longer to push you fully out of the wall, and then you'll zip up. So that would be a zip right there. And there's certain areas where it's kind of viable. It's just kind of hard to nail the first time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when you're inside of a wall, but you're at the edge of the wall, so you can see yourself edging out of the wall, the ejection code pushes you upwards, but it also tries to push you out of the wall still. So you can do some different methods of getting zips where you just jump into the corner bottom of a wall and do a dive kick. A dive kick pushes you up a little bit before it pushes you down. So during that time that it's pushing you up, it actually helps you get some height. So that's what helps get some of the zipping there. But the task has task powers.
Task is task,
They have this every other frame button mashing that they can do to zip up whole sections of. In 5-2, there's one room that's just totally not viable RTA. It's just insane.
You should check it out. It is insane.
Well, that's the thing. In the final video version, I want to include some of those clips because I was like, what the hell? As any task, that's one thing I love about how impressive they look. But I saw that and I'm like, there's no way somebody could do that. And then, at least not yet. I mean, who the hell knows? These things become so optimized. I say it now, but if there's one thing I've learned, it's never underestimate a speedrunner's determination. So
exactly.
You never know if that needs to be optimized or something like that. But that's one of the cool things I thought about the task. But there's some things there that was like, oh, that's super interesting. And okay, so that's cool. So I'm glad to hear that there was some things you kind of just determined. You're like, I'm not sure that's going to be humanly viable at this time to try it out.
Though with that older task, they didn't have the ceiling clip, so that was one leg up that RTA had for a little while before Cool Hand Mike updated the task, and now it's just okay, it's back to being untouchable. Okay.
Yep. 100%.
But I mean, one of the things I love about a task, though, is it is something to at least to strive for, or at least to, to see what maybe things we could try for, if there's something we want to go for. I mean, if there's one, the most famous ones obviously are SMB, Super Mario Brothers, where, with these things, no way you'd even try this. And then who the hell, people try it out and they figure out setups and all those kind of things. So I will say, and not the sidetrack or anything, but one of the things that, so I started watching speedruns about 2013, 14, saw GDQ, and I'm like, oh, this is the coolest thing ever. And one of the earlier speedrunners that I really enjoyed watching their speedruns and streaming live was Mike89 or Sega Junkie. And so I just assumed, oh, Sega Genesis was popular. There must be this huge community of Sega Genesis runners and Sega runners. And it's really not. Like, I'm really surprised at how small a lot of the Sega and Sega Genesis specifically community is. And so when you look on the leaderboard for Shinobi 3, I just expected there to be 100, submits or whatever, and it's not.
I wish.
I wish. I wish there was more runners.
It's a compliment because I'm surprised at how well the game is being optimized even to this day. And there's still time on the table and all those type of things. But there were the world records get more and more impressive as they happen. It's been really impressive to watch, I guess, to say the least, to go through it. So.
Yeah, no, I would love more runners. Our community's great. Kira and I are definitely, figureheads of the community. We always have we're on the same page of pushing the community to be better. So we're pretty open about sharing new tech that comes out. Like if I see anything new, I'm just on the Shinobi Discord sharing it right away. Like, I'm very willing to share anything with the community. Like, I want to see this game get lower and lower. If it's not me, I mean, I'm not the current record holder now, and that's okay. I just want to see this game get lower and lower and lower and lower. That's all I want.
Yeah, it's been a ride. It's been a fun ride, and like Eludra said in chat, small but passionate. Yeah, we're
yeah. Sega runners are very passionate. I got to give a shout out to Sega Crew. That's our little group of Sega runners. We do marathons and all that stuff too. So if you want more Sega, go to Sega Crew.
Yep, Sega Crew's cool.
It's definitely, there are so many great games out there, and so many still waiting to be speedrun, to be honest with you. I mean, there's a great library. I haven't even dug into the Master System library. I've only played like 5 or 6 games because for some reason, I don't remember that console as a kid. I was told it was sold here in the States, but I don't remember it very much. So
Same, honestly.
Yeah,
you're not alone.
Wasn't very big here,
right.
I think.
So, okay. So we've gone through the movement. We've gone through some of the cool tech that's in the game. We've gone through with the bosses and all that kind of fun stuff. I think it's been real interesting to see kind of the progression of the world record. And I'm curious what kind of discoveries, or what, if you could take us through a little bit of a timeline. We don't have to mention each one, but what were some of like the big time saves, or what were some of the big moments? Like for an example, Bacon, I know you broke a minute warning at some point, with the sub 24? Am I getting this?
Sub 24, yeah.
Yeah. So I guess tell us, what were the things that kind of made some of those accomplishments happen throughout the history of this game?
I mean, the ceiling clips and that whole wrong warp that we were talking about in round 6, that was pretty huge.
What got you to the sub 24? I guess let's go with that one. What was the thing that happened that made that happen?
Shadex brought up new stage 6 clip, and yeah, the way that I did it before was definitely slower. It was safe though, and then Shadex and Bacon started doing this newer version of that clip, and it was way more extremely risky, very scary, even more so scary than 7-2 clip Final Destination.
Oh yeah,
it was Anyways,
yeah, there used to be. Like the last level had the scariest clip, and now it's the second last level, so now you can be heartbroken earlier.
Yeah, just easy resets there. It's all good. Yeah.
No, I would say that it's just a lot of optimizing what we know. I mean, there hasn't been anything too huge other than that wrong warp. I'm trying to think.
I would say bomb glitch was pretty big.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah,
bomb
we didn't
glitch?
talk
We haven't
about
even
that.
Yeah, what is that?
Go ahead, Kieran.
Yeah, sure. So bomb glitch, it was interesting. When I was running the game, I noticed that in round 3, the body weapon stage, there was something that Mike did, And it was specifically there, but I didn't think to imply it anywhere else, and I didn't really question why it was a thing. But it was when you break a box that includes like a timed bomb, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, boom. If you don't activate the bomb like within the proximity to make it count down and boom, for some reason it gives Joe these like invincibility frames. I have no idea why he's invincible. You can phase through enemies, you just can. But you're not invincible to projectiles, so you still have to avoid those. So this is very effective in round 3, as it was first used. There's a bomb in the first area that you can just dive kick in, and you can just run through those enemies. Then there's another area where there's these like brain creatures in the capsules. There's another time bomb there. You can throw a kunai and then just jump and then just like run through them. You don't have to
just
worry
run
about it.
through. It causes a bunch of lag because there's a bunch of enemies spawning that you're supposed to be dealing with.
Just
but
epic
no,
slow
you're
motion.
just running through them.
Yeah, I would say that's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's actually an important aspect. That one thing we didn't even talk about was the lag reduction. All the things you all are doing to keep all the extra sprites and things off of the screen. It's so funny. That's something we don't talk, and it's maybe because it's not the most sexiest thing, but especially in 8 and 16-bit era games, lag reduction. What do you have to do to reduce some of that lag? Because you don't even notice it watching your all's runs, especially your PBs and some of the runs from GDQ. You don't even notice it's happening on screen. What do you have to do and what causes the lag, and what do you have to do to reduce it?
Well, I would like to point out your first casual playthrough of this game when you got the reset glitch in round 5. In round 5, if you have too many enemies and explosions and just tons of stuff on screen, that spot in particular is notorious for just resetting the game. That's how the game deals with it crashing. It just goes, oh, okay, just go back to the Sega like you hit the reset button. That's how it deals with the game crashing. So yeah, that level's pretty bad for lag. So for lag reduction, so for that level, there's these little silos that you run along and then they explode. For the run, you want to optimize your movement so you're not creating too many explosions, and then take out some enemies along the way to reduce the lag. It's that spot in particular is one of the more rougher speedrun spots, I would say, for optimizing.
We definitely like ran through it quite a few times. I think almost every year, if I'm not mistaken. Like every year we're running through optimizations through it again and again and again. Just to see.
Last year where we had, I think 4 of us, myself, you, Cure, Shadex, and then A-Frame, we all have a different way of doing 5-1. And I think it was A-Frame who just like stitched all 4 of our PBs.
Yeah.
And compared.
That was me. I made
was
the
it you?
video.
Oh,
yeah,
cool.
Yeah. There was a video of like Shadex, Bacon. I don't know if it was me. It was someone, and then it was A-Frame as well. And I was just like, all right, at the same time, this is what we do different. This is what we do similar.
It seems so obvious, like, oh, compare your speedrun to somebody else. But the way we were comparing it was just like, where does this person press jump? What frame do they jump?
Where are they dive kicking? Where are they landing? It's
how many lag frames are going on here? Yeah.
It's a real thing, and because I assume you all play on console, like this is even the emulators now accommodate for lag like perfectly nowadays. So
yeah, emulators definitely faster. It doesn't even matter which one you're playing on. From my experience, all emulators deal with that level. There's another lag reduction thing with the final boss, because when you kill the final boss, it just makes explosions all over the screen. All over the screen. There's just explosions. It's super obnoxious, but it was recently figured out that if you just make Joe crouch to make his sprite smaller, it helps a little.
Really?
Yeah, just
wow.
making your sprite a little smaller seems to get rid of some lag.
I wonder if that's less pixels being drawn on screen or something.
Yeah, less pixels being drawn on the character.
Wow.
Yeah,
Interesting.
that's just happens to be enough that actually matter.
One of the things that I also found that was kind of cool was some of the strats differ from kunai lists and 80%. And I know specifically on the end boss, it seems like that's, to say at least, a frustrating spot for the speedrun. Tell us a little bit about what you have to do differently. Let's start with the final boss, because that was just one of the most obvious places, but some of the other ones that make any percent and kunai lists different.
Yeah, okay, so obviously when you don't have the ability to attack your opponent from full screen, it's going to change the way you have to do things. There's a lot of tricky maneuvering on that final boss, you could say. Like, I can sit and just grind that boss over and over and over and over and over and over, and I'll still find something slightly different with that boss's behavior. It's pretty interesting to see how he reacts to where you are just on the screen. So when you have to change completely what you know of, just firing kunai across the screen safely to being up and personal in his face, you really have to adapt to it's like a whole nother boss.
I will say the most profanity might have been on the last boss of the PBs that I was watching in that category, just because it seemed like it sucks to get through a full run, and that's where you lose your run. Is to,
Oh yeah,
to that boss. So I can imagine that's frustrating especially if you're newer to the game or anything like that. So,
but along with the not just the bosses, like the bosses are pretty big between the two categories of a difference. I mean, the levels aren't too bad. I mean, you're running to the right of the screen for most of these levels.
Yeah.
that doesn't change.
Well, when you put it that way,
it's just like Mario, right?
Yeah. But there is one tiny thing. So I was mentioning how the ceiling clips work, where you jump and throw a kunai, and then that specific animation doesn't have collision.
Right.
In 6-button mode, because it was tacked, at least what I assume, because it was tacked onto the game so late in the development, it doesn't function quite properly. It skips that specific animation state of wall hop attack, and it just goes from wall hop to just a normal airborne attack. So it doesn't have that same state that the characters put in, so you can't actually ceiling clip in 6-button mode. So effectively making that not possible for kunai-less.
So that's where that extra
Which is
time.
kind of a shame, but
Yeah.
it does open up one other new movement mechanic. That specific character state where you're wall hopping and attacking, you're not allowed to move back towards into the wall. Like, it's got Joe moving away from the wall as if he's jumping off of the wall. But because of the 6-button mode just being the normal airborne state, you can push yourself back towards the wall sooner because you have free movement just because you're in a normal airborne state. So because of that, you can just wall hop and then go back to the wall hop, go back to the wall hop. So you can just get those wall hops really quick with that. So that's different movement, which is pretty cool. It's nice to have something besides just the bosses.
I know for me personally, when I'm grinding a category, it's nice. Sometimes I need a break, and sometimes it's nice to try one of the other categories of a game I'm playing, and that's definitely nice to have something different to do than just the same kind of thing over and over again. Is there any? I don't know if you would know this or not, but Sonic 2, when I was running that for a little time, we used a certain revision of the cartridge. We used one of the collections because there were some things you could do in there that you couldn't do in the base cartridge. Are there any revisions of this cart or is it all okay? So the 6-button code works in all the cart all over.
There is the Japanese version came out before the North American version, and there is some differences between the two versions just with level layouts.
Okay. With the actual layouts, wow.
Yeah, it's not a ton, but
It makes it a slower speed run.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a slower
Unfortunately.
speed run on the Japanese version because of there's a ceiling that we clip through that's not possible on the Japanese one, I believe.
There's a couple actually, if I'm
Yeah.
not mistaken. I think in Final Confrontation and in round 5.
Round
I think.
5, yeah. So it's not a ton of changes between the two, but there is some slight changes. But yeah, the North American version does be the fastest just because of some of the movement tech for clipping.
As of our time recording this we're actually doing it on April Fool's Day of all things, 2024. A-Frame is the current world record holder in any percent with a 23:35. In your all's opinion, where do you think the speedrun could go next, or where is there still places to optimize the movement? What's kind of the next frontier? Is there a next frontier for speedrunning this game?
What do you think, Kier? I'm actually just going to open up Live Split because I want to see what my sum of best is.
Oh, there you go. It's a good
Yeah. I think that's a great idea. It's like,
Because
where
my
could we
sum of
take
best,
this?
I believe, is under world record still.
Ooh.
So it is possible, but
Okay.
there is RNG within the game, and then execution is just so big in this game.
Yeah, like those frames we were talking about earlier, like they matter.
Yeah.
They matter huge.
So my sum of best is 23-23.
Oh, wow.
Which I think is lower than A-frames. Me and
Think so.
A-frame like to compare splits all the time. We're in DMs, like after he's done his stream and he's got like a new gold split, we're like, oh, okay, what was that time on that gold split? And I think if we took both of our splits for each level, it can be like a 23-20. So there's some time to be saved. It's really just playing well, getting the good RNG on some of those later bosses, especially. Yeah. Hopefully there's some new tech. I mean, maybe a future listener wants to pick up the game.
Hey, yo.
Maybe they have some experience with other similar games,
Right.
and they can take some ideas from that game and bring it to Shinobi, and they can go, oh, you guys never thought of this? Let's do this.
Yeah, sequence break the auto scrollers. Absolutely.
Right?
you
Oh,
know?
my gosh.
Yeah,
Oh.
if we can lose on just one auto-scroller, please.
I tell you, that seems like the golden ticket for so many games. Where if we could just figure out how to break the damn auto scrollers. Kira, I got to ask you. I know at some point you put the game down. Was there any reason? Just time to take a break? What was it that finally got you to take a break from running the game?
That's a good question. I think it was because I was burnt out. That's what happens. You know, you
Yeah,
get burnt
totally.
out. And I was also finding interest in just enjoying the speedruns as they came.
Right.
I also I mentioned the tutorial. I kind of like just providing help at that point.
Yeah.
I wasn't really like more interested in running the game. I was just like, okay, what can I do to kind of help out? But yeah, it was just mainly burnout. And like occasionally you'll see me in like some races, some events, and that's just because it's fun to just hang out with the guys and just
That's
shoot the
just
shit,
Kier
like-
being nice and saying that I bully him into playing Shinobi 3 with me.
He does. He does. He absolutely does.
Hey,
And
we're
it's like,
doing
you
this
know what?
race
All
for
right,
this event.
Let's do it.
I signed
Hey.
you up for this marathon. You have to play.
It's funny
I
you
was
mentioned that.
voluntold. Yeah.
Voluntold, yeah. Well, when I reached out to Bacon Omelet to do this episode, he immediately mentioned that you should join, and I thought that was so cool because when I started doing research, I noticed you hadn't streamed in 4 years or something like that, and so I didn't realize that you were still that part of the community because I had just started my research. So the fact that you're out there and still, because there's so much knowledge in what you did when a lot of other people worked, so the fact that you're still sharing it out there, as much as I don't speedrun the game, the community I'm sure is appreciative of it for it because it sucks a lot, especially nowadays. This is it's a conversation we're having with a lot of different speedrunners that some of our information is only on Discord, which is not always the easiest place to access unless there's somebody like you, Kier, who's out there interacting with the community. So we keep running into this problem.
Well, I do want to correct. Like, I'm not usually the one that jumps into people's streams and helps them. I gotta give it to Bacon. I'm fairly certain he's does that way
Yeah.
more than I do.
I am just on the Shinobi 3 Twitch directory more often than I want to admit. Like, I'll just tune into casual playthroughs of this game, like on the off chance that maybe this casual person thinks of something. Who knows? I mean, there was that whole, what was it, Metal Gear Solid? Someone was playing that game just casually and they found a huge skip. Like, you never know. It's worth tuning in.
I love that kind of stuff, and that's one of the things I think I still enjoy about watching speedrunning and stuff like that is that if you're playing the game that I speedrun or if you're the game that the person likes, a lot of times you'll see those people meeting there, no matter if they're just learning the speedrun or it just because we still love the game, even though we may have put it down ourselves,
Definitely.
Exactly.
Definitely.
Bacon, you haven't PB'd in a minute as well. So same thing with you. Are you taking a break, or do you? As you mentioned, you still watch it. Do you still have any plans to play the game? What's your story with it?
I mean, mentally I have plans of doing it, but after a long day of work, you sit down at your computer desk and you're just like conked out.
Yeah,
That's my biggest hurdle with streaming and speedrunning in general. Is just like, oh,
That's
I'm too
relatable.
tired. I'm too tired. But no, I would love. I definitely have plans of pushing this game. I would love to get the record back at least one more time before I hang it up. That's the goal at least. We'll see if it happens. I mean, A-Frame's got a really killer time. He's really, really good at this. Like,
And it's interesting. He
he
kind of
picked
just
it up late too. Like
Yeah,
he
he
didn't grow
just-
up with the game.
wow.
picked it up, asked in the Discord. Me and Bacon were in trying to help him, and he just was like, "All right." I think
Yeah.
maybe Shadox is in too. I'm not sure, but yeah, it's been good.
I think that's kind of the cool thing. That's one of the things I've loved to. I mean, and I'm curious for actually, I guess Bacon, because you've been around too. You're curious when you all first picked up the game or first started playing the game. Did you ever expect it to see as many runners as or just more people at all? I mean, to see it kind of where the Did you ever expect the speedrun to end up where it has today when you first started playing the game?
No, absolutely not.
I thought sub 24 would have been like near impossible. Like, and now I personally have like a dozen sub 24 times just in runs, and a few other people have sub 24s now, of course. Yeah, it's really cool to see what it's become for sure. I gotta give it up to the community for putting up with me pushing this game and wanting to just nerd out. Like, if somebody figures something out, I'm just like in an emulator, I'm looking at like memory addresses, I'm trying to dissect everything I can possibly can, and they're just like, okay man, take it easy.
One of the things I think is cool about this game is that, yes, you can play it on an emulator. It's a great place if you don't have access to some of the other things. But this game has been re-released a fair amount of times, interestingly enough, on different collections and stuff like that. It's a fairly easy game to get a hold of. And I got to tell you, even though I just played it for the first time last year, I already put it at one of the top casual playthroughs I've ever had on the Genesis or any console. It reminded me, you can feel like a badass your first time playing through it. And there's a few games I've had that Bayonetta was one of them where you just feel awesome the first time you're playing it. And this game had that. It doesn't take too long to now you're not going to get the speedrun strats, but you can just how good it feels in the hands. I think that's one of those things that's universal about the game.
Yeah, it does feel pretty tight. Like, there's like almost virtually zero lag between like your actions. It's great. Like, that's what you want in games.
Very responsive, yeah.
The first time I did the run, and then I did I used my sword at the end of the run. I was just like, oh, this is badass. This is so cool. This is so fun. So if people were interested, or maybe they just wanted to join the community and see what's out, where's a good place to start with Shinobi 3 speedrunning? Where would you recommend?
The Discord. That was actually so hold on, we need to give him a shout out. Shadox actually did create the Shinobi Discord in chat.
Mm-hmm.
And if it wasn't for him, then we probably wouldn't have this community as it is, like as bloomed as it is today. So
Thank you,
And
Shadox.
it covers not just Shinobi 3, but like Revenge of Shinobi, all
cool.
the Shinobi
Got
games.
all the
So
Shinobis, okay.
it's just a general Shinobi
good
Discord.
general community
For
too. Like,
speedrunning,
everyone in the
sorry,
community
but-
is great.
Yeah.
We do that with Castlevania, and it's honest. I'm glad that, because you never know what might carry over, but even so, you might find something you didn't know about. I completely agree. That's a great way to do it.
Oh yeah. But yeah, the Discord's definitely the best way of getting into it. Like, if you have any questions with the run, I'm super open to questions about this game. Like, I will respond to anyone. Like, if they have even the slightest interest in the speedrun, I am more than happy of getting that extra push you might need to start doing it.
On the YouTube version of this, I will include some of the videos that we've talked about in this video, because it's helpful to see some of these things as they're doing it on screen. I want to give a shout out to Cure's tutorial, and I don't want to commit to it, but I'm thinking of trying some of it out myself. When I first learned Super Mario Brothers 3, I was using Chuck's tutorial from I think it's 8-9 years ago now, and to pick up basic mechanics, those things are still really good quality material. So the fact that you have one of those for this game, not every game can say that, especially a lot of Sega Genesis games, which, like I mentioned, the community is not as big as you would think. And so the fact that you did that and took the time out, how long did it take you to make that darn thing?
Oh man, so I actually did have in mind to use that drawing software on the screen to kind of
Yeah.
explain like what the heck I was doing and
Yes.
where you want to be, with things to consider. whenever I got the rhythm down after the first iteration, like the first round, then it was just, I think it was off and on. I think I stopped at like round 5 for a bit, or maybe round 4. And then like in between, it was like a few months, maybe several months. Was it a year? I don't know. It was a big time. I'd never finished it until then. And then I finished it, and then I was like, okay, it's complete. It's there. It's going to get you a good time. That's what's important. So,
even if you're not interested in picking up the speedrun, I suggest watching some of those videos because, like he was saying, he's drawing over top of the screen to like illustrate things. Like it's like a football play. There's like circles and arrows. Yeah, it's amazing. It's a great tutorial.
Totally agree. I bring up Chuck's tutorial again once just because he was live streaming it and he's like, how do I talk about this? Like, I can't point to the screen. Nobody can see me pointing at the screen, right?
Yeah.
So the fact that you can figure that out is so awesome.
I was trying to bridge that gap.
I want to give a couple of shout outs to a couple of runs that really helped me understand the game a little bit better. First of all, Bacon Omelets PBs, almost all of them are great. But specifically, Shadek's SGDQ run from last year, 2023, really great. And there's actually a lot of explanation going on that's really helpful. A great place to see the run. And then, Cure, your run from 2015, is that when? AGDQ 2015, am I getting that right?
Yes, yeah, it was 2015. Mm-hmm.
It was super fun.
Time,
it's a really great run too. Like you didn't miss much, dude. Like you were for the tools you had available to you at the time. I thought it was a really clean run, really impressive at that point. So, and then Mike's run was just a fun run to see. Kind of you could see earlier GDQ if you want to watch Mike Uyaba's run. It just
he got the reset. Oh gosh,
yeah,
he got the reset glitch. Yep, that was great.
And he's also,
everybody. They were all like,
having worked with him a little bit, you could totally see his marathon runner brain is on too. So he's trying to talk about prizes and stuff like this at the same time. He's trying to not do very tough things in that game. So super fun to watch, but some fun ones to go back and check out. And then all the world records have been fun to watch through. As especially I do appreciate the way SRC is laid out nowadays, where you can actually just kind of click through where they have a world record progression basically.
Yeah, and that's great. I love that.
Yeah, so it's great for research and also fun. Just you can really tell how the runs have progressed, and never fails at the end of your runs. Like, well, I could save time here. I could save time here. There's always check out where you can save time at the end.
Yeah, if you're finishing a PB and you say, "Yep, that was the perfect run," you're lying to yourself.
Yeah.
Unless you're playing Super Mario Bros, I guess.
Right. Exactly. Yes.
That's
Or
the only
Dark
game
Souls.
I think you can do that.
So true. Well, typically at this point of the stream, I give you all shout outs to, hey, where can people find you and stuff like that. Obviously, we know about the Discord. Any place you want to send anybody, or where can people find you if they were curious about hanging out with your stream or anything, if you stream, those kind of things.
Sega Crew.
Sega Crew is a good spot. I do stream like once a month. I try at least once.
What I'm at right now, yes.
But yeah, you can find me just Bacon Omelet pretty much everywhere.
Or the Shinobi Discord, that's cool too.
Yeah, Shinobi Discord's a good spot too there. Which you can find in the speedrun.com's Shinobi 3 section. You can find a link for that.
You can also find it in my Twitch links if you go to my page. I don't stream anymore. You can follow me if you want, but I don't really stream anymore. So
YouTube's still up there, and he's still got a great YouTube bio about,
Oh yeah. That's right. You can check my YouTube. I still have the videos there. So yeah, feel
all the
free.
PBs. I do appreciate your highlights that go on YouTube of PBs, because you cut as soon as you finish the time. And sometimes, nowadays you got to celebrate. Nope, you cut right with it. You fit your time.
That's it. Like, you're here for the run. I'm gonna give you the run. That's it. No fluff.
I love it. Hey guys, thank you so much for first of all helping out with all this research for this, but also walking through a game that I really enjoyed. And I hope if you haven't, you would consider. It's not a very long casual. It only took me 3 or 4 hours, I think, to play through the game casually the first time. So it's not a huge time commitment. It's a lot of fun, and I highly recommend it. But thank you both for joining. It's been a lot of fun chatting this game, and I'm even learning stuff as we're speaking. So I appreciate you informing and letting us all know how the speedrun works and how the game works.
Yeah, anytime. Thanks a lot.
Thanks for having us.
For those of you watching live, This is the home for Sequence Break. Whenever I do a live stream, like the fellas you hear on the screen, I'd like to do this more often, but right now my work schedule, we're all adults, it's like we gotta keep the roof over our heads. So I'm trying to do once a month right now. I used to do every other week, but I'm trying to do once a month, and so far this is one more for the first month. We got it. We committed to it. So you can always, we'll try to post ahead of time and when we're doing the live streams. But if you're at all curious, I've done almost 100 episodes of this. It's at sequencebreakpodcast.com, and you can see all the back episodes. As I mentioned, Enemy was one of the first guests, episode, 4 or 5, where we talk about the history of RGLtv. So if that's something that interests you, I mentioned Mike89, Sega Junkie. I did an episode with him. Shadex, we got to chat at some point. I got to get you on because of all the games you speed run. So.
Yeah, Shadex is probably he's a god on Sega Genesis games.
So many GDQ runs I can point to that are just unfreaking believable that he's done those things live.
There's a ton of Sega games you could do, just saying. As a fan of the podcast,
totally.
I have listened to this podcast prior to this.
Oh, thanks.
And a fan of Sega games, I would love to see more Sega. And I can definitely point some people to you if you need it.
I see Cyphered on there. I'm like, how have I not had Cyphered on the
Ciphering?
podcast?
Oh,
yeah,
man.
dude.
Next month, you got to have Ciphering
Right?
on.
We
You don't even have to pick one game. Ciphering can just go on and on and on.
Well, then we can talk 100 games during that episode. So. Anyway, folks, thanks so much for watching and hanging out. Once again, sequencebreakpodcast.com, and you can find all the back episodes and all that kind of stuff. Thank you, everyone, for hanging out. It's been an absolute pleasure and joy. Gents, thank you guys so much, especially, you don't know, but they've tried out some new software for me today, so I appreciate you being the testers as well, so appreciate it. Everyone, have a nice, good evening. Enjoy the rest of your day, night, whatever it is, wherever you are, and thanks so much for joining. I'll see you in the next one. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Peace.
Thank you.